everyone. Well, I have to refilm my Employee of the Month right now. I'm refilming my SpongeBob SquarePants Employee of the Month review because, well, somehow mine got my OG one. I didn't realize it until today. Got cut off and was only 3 minutes long when it was supposed to be 15 minutes. So I'm sorry about that. I'm now gonna refilm. I'm refilming this video on my review of SpongeBob SquarePants Employee of the Month. So let's get right into it. The SpongeBob SquarePants Employee of the Month is a PC point-and-click adventure game that came out in 2002 during the peak height of SpongeBob. This game is a storyline of where SpongeBob somehow gets the Employee of the Year award. And he ended up winning some really rare and expensive tickets to Neptune's Paradise. They were totally not free. Actually, they were kind of free. So Mr. Krabs got the 2 tickets and gave them to SpongeBob. And then SpongeBob gave the other one to Patrick. And so the game revolves around SpongeBob and Patrick trying to get to Neptune's Paradise. But the problem is they keep having things go wrong. Such as the bus driver literally abandoning them. The bus driver literally abandons them. They get trapped in rock bottom because of rain. Sandy's rocket has a big crash. So yeah, so the game revolves around 4 chapters. And each chapter has different areas you can go to. Chapter 1 features the Krusty Krab, downtown Bikini Bottom, Goo Lagoon, SpongeBob SquarePants' grandma's house, SpongeBob's grandma's house, and the Bargain Mart. Chapter 2 is basically just rock bottom, a big area of rock bottom. It'll be marking. This also marks Rock Bottom's first appearance in a SpongeBob video game. And then we had Chapter 3, you had the Diner, Sardine Sundries, Jellyfish Fields, Sandy Street Dome, and Home Lane, aka Conch Street, aka SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward's house. Then Chapter 4 is Bottoms Up. This is what it's called. I think that's where it is. One of them is the area you can go there is the Rocket Crash Site, Sublime Seafoods, Oxygen Springs, and then there's some really rich neighborhood, which I can't remember what the name is. I'll have to remember the name of it for the walkthrough. Here, let me see if I can, go past here. I'm back to here so I can see what the name of that place is, because I actually don't remember what the place name of that was. I think it's called Waverly Hills, is that it? I think it's Waverly Hills. I'll have to check. Let's see here. Yep, the rich neighborhood, guys, is called Waverly Hills. So those are all the areas you can go in the game. In Rock Bottom, there's a bunch of different areas, such as the main street area, Rock Bottom Streets, like in Battle 4, but this time it just features some area with the bus area, as well as there's the bus area with the candy machine. Information on buses. Also a Marlin's Cave. There's the weather station. There's also some sort of bar kind of place. So that's where that's all the things now. So those are all the areas in Employee of the Month. And now guys, as far as the characters go, there's a lot of different characters in this game. There's so many. This game probably has the most characters out of any SpongeBob game we have probably ever have seen. We have SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, Plankton, Karen. Plankton, no Karen, no Gary. We had Plankton, Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy, Larry, the Flying Dutchman, makes a cameo appearance. SpongeBob's grandma's in the game. There's also a running gag in this game where there's some fish that looks familiar, and we see them in the Krusty Krab, Rock Bottom Streets, Sardine Sundries, and Oxygen Springs. So that's a running gag. We see him along the way in this game. There's a bunch of other characters in this game. A bunch of people in Rock Bottom. You know, the amount of fish here in this game and the amount of people we can talk to in this game is a lot. It's gonna be hard to remember all the names of all the people. Cowfish Craig is in this game, but there's just so many things in this game. So many characters in this game. But as far as all the voice actors going for the main characters, like the big main characters such as SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, Plankton, Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy, all of the characters are voiced by their main person. Except for two, which were Mermaid Man and the French narrator. Now, Mermaid Man, his voice actor has a thing where he does not appear to voice in SpongeBob games. I think Ernest Borgnine only voiced in 2 SpongeBob games, which were Super Sponge and I think he voiced in, I think it was Super Sponge, or maybe it was the Yellow Avenger. One of those two, but I'm pretty sure it was Super Sponge and Truth or Square were the only two games he appeared in. But it's kind of unfortunate. I wish he could have appeared in Employee of the Month, Lights, Camera, Pants, and Battle for Bikini Bottom. But unfortunately he couldn't, which is just kind of sad. Well, thankfully, so yeah, it got replaced by a different person. And it wasn't Joe White or whoever voiced Mermaid Man in Lights, Camera, Pants. It was somebody else. I can't remember. No, but something here that doesn't make sense is the French narrator. The French narrator is the same exact voice as SpongeBob. So it doesn't make sense why the French narrator couldn't voice in this game. He did have the same voices. He has the same voice as SpongeBob, which is Tom Kenny, who voices the narrator, the French narrator. I don't know why he could not appear in this game. I don't know, maybe Tom Kenny was too busy, because SpongeBob has the most lines in this game, because SpongeBob is the only character you play as in this game. I wish you could have played as other characters like Patrick or Plankton, like you could in the movie game PC. Or Sandy, Mr. Krabs, or Squidward, or Gary, you can play as those in Battle for Bikini Bottom on PC. But the game is still good, although only being able to play as SpongeBob. Then maybe Tom Kenny was so busy. You know, the shows that it was peaking at this point, and the show in 2002 it was peaking. Episodes were getting made. Then maybe we're starting to get stuff done for the SpongeBob movie coming out. That would come out 2 years later, so maybe Tom Kenny was too busy voicing for episodes, other games, the show, to where he had enough time to voice for this game, but he didn't have enough time to get the French narrator to voices both SpongeBob and the French narrator in this game. So Tom Kenny just decided to get someone else. But besides all the voice actors would be there to reprise their roles. We had Tom Kenny reprise as SpongeBob, Bill Fagerbell. We had Clancy Brown in this game, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, couldn't make it for Battle for Bikini Bottom, but he was able to make it for here, which is good. Yeah, Clancy Brown and Ernest Borgnine are the two characters with the biggest thing for not showing up to voice in video games. So that's something interesting. But at least we got Clancy Brown this time. And we got, the Plankton voice actor, what was his name? Mr. Lawrence? Yeah, we had Carolyn Lawrence to voice Sandy. We had Tim Conway for Barnacle Boy. We had, whoever the Flying Dutchman voice actor is. We had, Mr. Lawrence to voice Larry. So we were very blessed to have all of those. Now, as far as the graphics of this game go, they look pretty good. The character models all look pretty good. But to be honest with you, this game feels like you're actually watching the show, because in the show, you know, all the backgrounds you see for the that you see almost look like the exact same, backgrounds as you see in the actual show in this game. They may be 2D, but they look like they were from the actual show. Not all areas, because some areas weren't in the show, like everything in Bottoms Up. But stuff like SpongeBob, Patrick and Squidward's house, the Krusty Krab, Goo Lagoon, Grandma's house, the Bargain Mart, Rock Bottom Streets, the diner. Everything looked exactly how it looked in practically in the show. It almost feels like you're just playing through and clicking through and living through an actual episode of the show. Which is something that is really unique. This game is super, super underrated and super under-talked about. Honestly, I think if they were to do a fourth SpongeBob movie, I do hear a bunch of ideas. Honestly, this should be the fourth SpongeBob movie. But the only problem is you don't have the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy voice actors because they passed away. But what you can do is maybe get some of the, maybe transport lines from this game, or maybe get some of the voice actors like Bill Fagerbell, Carolyn Lawrence, Mr. Lawrence, Roger Bumpus, get all of them to revoice and reprise their roles, to revoice some of the lines so that we can make an actual movie out of this, because this would actually be a cool movie idea for SpongeBob. So overall, I'd give this game a 7 out of 10. It's my 6th favorite SpongeBob game that's out there. My sixth favorite SpongeBob game. I do think other games are better, such as the movie game, Hero Pants, Plankton's Robotic Revenge, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, and Battle for Bikini Bottom. I do think they're all better, but this is still very underrated and is still a very good game for being a point-and-click adventure game for SpongeBob. This game is really under-talked about. When you, let's say I can go with the entire... We can do an entire SpongeBob game talk night with people in the community. The first SpongeBob games that'll come up would be Battle for Bikini Bottom, the movie game, Creature from the Krusty Krab, Lights, Camera, Pants, Rehydrated, Playing Robotic Revenge and Hero Pants for probably how bad they are, and Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. Those would all appear throughout the conversation. Truth or Square. They would all appear, but this game probably wouldn't appear. If you ask them, remember Employee of the Month, they'd probably say just barely. I think this game is super underrated. Also, the history of how I found this game is, well, in 2018 is when I discovered this game. Through a guy called Game Master 468. The same guy I discovered Battle for Bikini Bottom through. I was looking through his SpongeBob walkthroughs one day and I found this. Because I knew about his walkthroughs for Battle for Bikini Bottom in the movie game. But I've never seen Employee of the Month. So I also had a really bad cough and then I was just watching through and I saw this game like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I watched it again. And then I ended up, after I watched it for Christmas Day of 2018, I got the game. I did a playthrough of it that winter break, because I would usually, throughout my winter break, I'd usually play Battle for Bikini Bottom, but since I got Employee of the Month, I decided to play that instead. I played that again later on that year to celebrate 20 years of SpongeBob. Yeah, because during 2019, I did my own thing, and to celebrate 20 years of SpongeBob, I decided to do my own thing of I did walkthroughs of a bunch of SpongeBob games I owned, which were Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, Employee of the Month, Battle for Bikini Bottom, the movie game, Truth or Square, Plankton's Robotic Revenge, Hero Pants, and Hero Pants, and that was about it. And I didn't complete over half of those games. The only ones I did complete, I think, were Plankton's Robotic Revenge, the Planes Robotic Revenge, Battle for, and Employee of the Month. I didn't finish all the other ones because they were either too hard or I didn't have time to play them. So, yeah, and then I played it again last year. Yeah, I did my walkthrough by myself of this game. And now, this year, 2022, after we finish Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, we will be playing this. I believe it's gonna be starting on July 11th, I think. Yeah, July 11th, guys. Stay tuned, because this is when we'll play the game. So that's pretty much all for my review. Pretty good game, really solid, underrated, under talked about, underappreciated. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. And until next time for more reviews of SpongeBob games. Now let's listen to some dialogue.
Sublime seafoods taste like chicken. Nice slogan.